Hello everyone and welcome to Helix Cloud Games. My name is Richie and joining me this week is the host of Talking the PS at CyberChris2077, Mr. Chris.
I've been expecting you. That's terrible. My previous ones. I've spent all week going back and forth with these guys. Forza doesn't work with anything. I thought some people put stuff in. I'm just going to default back to hello everyone.
What you can't see is behind him is just loads of scrumpled up bits of paper where he's just been writing down notes.
That doesn't
right
work.
Away.
Damn it. That doesn't work. Damn it.
Let's see if he can remember his homework this week, Mr. Rob.
Crackdown. Hello is a game.
It was Forza. Like last week I asked you, like, they just stay up, just randomly say Forza in the most awkward way you could do.
Yeah, like Crackdown was the only one I could think of.
Yeah. But we've got a great show lined up for you this week. We'll be talking about Xbox cloud gaming expanding even further, more news on Project Keystone and the inevitable demise of it, and Minecraft turning into a soccer game. All that and much, much more on this week's XPass. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, like the video and subscribe to the channel or your podcast feed of choice with notifications switched on so you're kept in the loop here with all our great content at Helix Cloud Games, such as Talking the PS, where we break down all the news happening in the Sony Sony area of gaming. The blue era. The blue era is over. This is now XPass. It's all about the green. Another green show is CloudQuest, our cloud gaming topical discussion show every single Friday. And also our live streams where last week Chris was playing Pentiment. We'll be talking a bit about that later though. So, gentlemen, before we get into it, have you been playing anything interesting this week? Chris, I'll start with you.
I've been, of course, playing God of War Ragnarok, but we won't go into that on this particular show. I played Pentiment, as you mentioned. Do you want me to get into Pentiment here, or...?
We can go for it here if you want.
You go for here, yeah. Checked out Pentiment, of course. Just came out on straight to XPass from Obsidian, so the same folks who did like Fallout New Vegas back in the day. It was kind of probably the top tier one. They've also recently put out Grounded into its full release thing. So it's really, really, at the moment, it seems to be that Obsidian are kind of basically pulling the weight for Microsoft, it would appear, with what they're putting out, and I don't know how the studio's doing it, but they've got so much stuff. They've already announced Outer Worlds 2. Avowed, I think, is due out early next year as well, which is the kind of the medieval fantasy one. When I played it for like an hour and a half, and it's not for me. I jumped into it because it was getting 10 out of 10 reviews, like loads of people saying, how is this not in Game of the Year conversation? After playing an hour and a half, it's a 2D story-driven puzzle game, I guess, where you read through... You're inside of basically a hand-drawn world, or painted world, I guess, illustrated. And you meet a bunch of characters in like 15th century France, Germany, Europe, and you meet a bunch of characters, the local abbot of the abbey, and a bunch of farmers and characters in the village. And you build relationships. You start to create your character, who's a guy who looks like he's been traveling around Europe. He's a painter. He works in the scriptorium, which was a word I did learn from the game. And it's some kind of story unraveling. But after an hour and a half, I was like, I'm not really seeing how this is getting 10 out of 10 Game of the Year recommend. Like, again, I'm playing God of War Ragnarok at the same time, so it's very polarizing game genres and styles. But just, didn't do it for me. The first look's up on the channel, and
Yeah, I mean,
don't recommend it, I guess, which is weird to say for a 10 out of 10 game from all these outlets, but from anyone who knows my taste from watching our other shows, it's not up my street, to say the least. Art style look great. I'm sure it's fun, but when I'm looking at it thinking, do I want to go back to Ragnarok, or do I want to spend more hours playing this? No, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, the game's director, Josh Sawyer, has said that he wouldn't even considered like pitching Pentiment if it wasn't for Game Pass, because it's such an unusual and niche concept. So I wonder if it's just one of them games where like it maybe has a slow burn, but the more you get into the story, they go, oh, there's something really special here that maybe needs a bit more than an hour or two to get there. I haven't played the game, so that's just when it's getting quite a lot of 10s, 9s and 10s, there's got to be something there. It just doesn't seem like you've found what that special something is.
I mean, it may be in the next like half an hour of playing, because like realistically, I only gave it 1 hour and a half of my time, which isn't that much. But when you've got so many games to play right now and a whole library of Game Pass, it's like, right, if it's not clicking for me after an hour and a half, what's it got to do? I
mean, interestingly, while I was researching for this show, like Pentiment, I looked up the Metacritic scores, and it's doing well. It's 86 at the time of writing. From the critics, user reviews is only 6.6, and it seems to be getting review bombed a bit. At the time of recording, there's 104 positive reviews, 2 mixed, and 49 negative. So I don't know. It just feels like there's a bit of a battle going on Metacritic between like users who love the game and users who hate it.
Right.
There's a lot of zeros, and that's why I think it's probably getting review bombed. When you see a lot of zeros, like, I can guarantee it's not a 0 out of 10 game. It might not be a game that's for you, like you don't think it's for you, Chris, but a 0 out of 10 game is something absolutely horrendous that has no business existing. I doubt that this is the case.
Is there like a woman character in it or something? 'Cause that's what tends to happen with like 0 out of 10 rated games.
I think because it's from what it's basically almost like a visual novel. Like you're playing through a story. There's a lot of reading involved. So basically, it's about as far away from say Call of Duty as you can get as being still being a video game.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I think, there's nothing of when I see when I like to read like review when games get review bombed to see what the actual criticisms are, and there's barely anything more substantial in people's comments other than like, bro, what is this garbage? It's not they're not saying anything insightful or critical. It's just, that's why I think it's being review bombed. It's just like, this is like not for you. So moving on, Rob, playing anything interesting?
I mean, for my definition, yes, because I'm getting really good at Chivalry 2 now. Like, we're going to do another live stream of it, and I'm going to carry you both. But
I'd say you can do it next week, because I'm actually not here, but...
I'm getting class at that game. Well,
you know what? I'll be willing to jump back in.
Yeah, I'll carry you, Richie.
Now, before you go jumping too hastily and back into the world of Chivalry 2, not that I would deny you guys enjoying more time in Chivalry 2, the week I'm away, Battlefield 2042 drops on Game Pass. I know it's in the news, but just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, sorry, Rob, we're playing Battlefield.
Yeah, let's pick a game where I'm just completely trash at instead.
I'm completely trash at it as well.
Back to standard programming.
Yeah. We can play Chivalry 2 another day. Let us know in the comments. In fact, I'm going to put it out to the comments section here. Battlefield or Chivalry. Let us know.
No, don't do that. Put it as like, do you want to, like, option A is like Battlefront.
Okay, let's put it this way. Do you want Rob to suffer or not? Let us know in the comments below. Yeah.
Option B is see Rob like murk some fools in Chivalry 2. That has to be the exact wording.
Murk some fools.
You know you are setting yourself up here, because if we play Chivalry and you're not amazing, if you're not top of the leaderboard, I'm just going to rip you apart.
I have 1,000,000,000% confidence.
Wow.
That's a lot of confidence.
I definitely want to check out Battlefield though at some point. Like I avoided the game because I didn't want to pay £70 for it back a year ago. It launched a year ago in such a shit state. But I think it's been, I don't think since Rainbow Six Siege, Richie, have we actually played a shooter on the channel?
No.
And that's what I'm excited about.
We kept going back to Rainbow Six Siege.
Maps.
We kept going back to Siege largely because there wasn't many shooters on Stadia.
Yeah.
We did play Extraction. That might have been.
In January. And that was true. Yeah.
But also Rainbow Six. So.
Yeah, very true. What have you been playing, Richie?
Mainly just God of War. I have just bought Pokemon Violet. I've heard mixed things, but I was going to buy it anyway, and I had some money from my birthday, so I was like, we'll buy it. We'll pick it up. I don't know when I'll start playing. It gets delivered tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I might play a bit over the weekend, but I'll probably wait till after God of War.
Has anyone, because I have installed it, is anyone going to check out Dune Spice Wars for PC? That just launched this week.
It's one of them on my list, but I feel like it's going to suffer from being on the list forever. That's my worry with that game.
Because I know nothing of Dune. I haven't read the books. I haven't seen the movies, even though I know I'll enjoy them. But I saw the game and I was like, God, it's been so long since I played an RTS, especially a brand new one, like never played before. I'm not, because I've got my PC installs literally are Command and Conquer, Rollercoaster Tycoon, Battle for Middle Earth 2, now Dune Spice Wars, and Age of Empires. So you can kind of see the type of PC games that I play.
At the moment,
came out this week.
At the moment, my PC game installs are Age of Empires, Age of Empires, Age of Empires, and Football Manager.
Interestingly enough, I really upgraded my PC to like the 3080 and like kind of like an i7 processor and stuff. And I've played Yuri's Revenge most.
It's such a good game, though.
Yeah.
You have like one of the best gaming PCs money can buy.
Yeah.
Isn't that not just PC gaming through and through, though? Yeah. Like, you always spend way beyond your means for what you actually want to play.
But think of how many frames you're getting, Rob.
Oh.
Do you know what spending money on a good PC can't get you?
What?
It can't get you to escape from capitalism in the one place left. Space.
Space, indeed. I bet them Tesla coils look fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
In all that resolution. Elon Musk missed the trick there with Tesla coils, didn't he?
That's the thing. Like the size of the assets is the size of the assets. You can't just suddenly make them better, more detailed than they are.
Ray tracing.
Yeah, Richie. I am formally requesting that you put the Tim Curry
space
clip over the
Make a note in the doc. Make a note in the doc.
Timestamp. What is it?
Because I'm not going to edit this till tomorrow, so I'll forget if you don't make a note of it.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
Before we get into the news, actually, this is completely off tangent, but there's a fantastic compilation of Tim Curry, like, basically laughing during delivering all of his lines for the Red Alert series. And you can just, like, the most amazing thing is he's laughing in every single one, and that was still the best take we got for that. So definitely check that out.
There you go. It's in the doc, Richie. Oh. Tim Curry shouting space from Command and Conquer Red Alert.
It's not space, it's space.
With lots of H's. There you go.
Yeah.
I've updated the doc.
I don't know why I'm trying to compose myself. It's Chris who's going to introduce us to the...
Oh, that would be, should I say it like Tim Curry? Excellent, I don't know how to do it. The excellently exuberant, excavated Xbox expose, aka the news. We've all had a few drinks, by the way, at the time of recording.
I've had one.
I've had 3 rums at this point.
As always, our news is brought to you by our Helix Heroes, which you can join for as little as 99p. That gives you early access to CloudQuest, early access to Talk to the PS, and custom emojis. Shout out to our two newest Helix Heroes.
One drink, he says.
Yeah, James Middleton and Shorvar Ingi. Thank you very much for joining. But first story of the week: Xbox is suspending millions of accounts. So Xbox Transparency, I can't talk anymore. Xbox Transparency report reveals up to 4.78 million accounts were proactively suspended in just 6 months. The report contains data regarding player reports and protective action taken by Microsoft to protect the gaming platform's user base.
Damn.
Do you think they're getting scared of like what's happening at Twitter and all the advertisers pulling out because it's not getting moderated anymore? So like Microsoft's like with their kind of Bing ad platform are just like, no, by the way, guys, we're still moderating things.
We're on it.
Just know.
I think it comes from, so Phil Spencer and the wider team have been quite vocal, I'd say, in the last 18 or so months about cleaning up online toxicity. And when it comes to a lot of their bigger titles, I'm sure they see it a lot in the Halo chat rooms and stuff, just like trolls and shit talking and abuse and racism and everything like that. And they've done a lot using Microsoft's AI programs to combat it and pick out obviously when keywords are said and such, and flag them as problematic accounts. And evidently 4.78 million assholes out there apparently who they give gamers a bad rap, and we've all been there, right? We've all been in the Call of Duty lobbies and stuff where you've just got lobbies, yeah. And it just takes so much out of it. We've got a lot of friends. We know a few female games as well who play like the likes of like Valorant and stuff, and they just constantly highlight some absolute pricks out there online. And I think it's good that Microsoft are like so proactive, but it really just goes to show you 4.78 million. Like that's not a drop in the water.
I mean, the report breaks down some numbers a bit further. I'm reading from The Verge here. A further breakdown of the data reveals 199,000 proactive enforcements taken by Xbox involving adult sexual content, 87,000 for fraud, 54,000 for harassment or bullying. I'm guessing it goes further, but the further numbers aren't listed because that definitely doesn't come up to like 4.78 million. But it's just the kind of stuff you're saying. Like a lot. I wonder if like the sexual content stuff is, I'd imagine, mainly like adult site bots and stuff. We get them on YouTube all the time. Every time we do a live stream, I can guarantee I have to block at least one set of posts.
I got one during Pentiment. I think I was just doing the introductions and we got into it. Bear in mind, this is like 15th century medieval France, and it's popping up in the chat saying like 18 girls online.net, sign up here, and it's like what the hell? How do you algorithmically find yourself to this video right now? It's so weird, but yeah,
it'll just be automated bots, and because we're live, they'll just go straight to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think obviously it's an ongoing problem, and we three have the benefit of not really fitting into a class that would impact us that much. Like we're not female. Like my gamer tag name doesn't represent that I'm a girl. So when I'm in Call of Duty, like clicking heads, there's people going like, "Oh, get back in the kitchen" and all shit like that. That's not a problem I think we've had to put up with. But again, like shout out to Microsoft for like being so proactive in anything along these lines.
I mean, the reality is we are 3 white guys in our early 30s. Like in terms of discrimination, we don't get any.
Fuck you, Richie.
Fuck you too.
I'm going to drop you all voice notes to Xbox. Abusing you.
You'll be added to the pile, Rob. We'll get you. Yeah, our abuse is purely friendly.
I must admit, when I used to actually, back in the day when it was during like the Modern Warfare 1 days and the Call of Duty World at War days, I used to actually play a lot of Call of Duty online. And one of the things that soured me on online gaming just generally was just the toxic communities, the gatekeeping and the abuse you'd get. It's like, I just want to play a bloody game. Like,
you Richie, you douche, earning 20% more than average.
Kill to death ratio. Yeah. I think that is what, like, I think we all used to play Call of Duty so much, and that was one of the things, like, if your friends weren't online and you just jumped into a lobby on your own, as soon as like the audio goes live in that lobby and you can just hear there's some arsehole playing music in the background, there's someone shouting too loud, you can hear kids or whatever it is, and then there's always just some people just talking shit, or it's so relevant, and like you either mute them all, so then you're playing silently on your own, or as you mentioned, you do one wrong thing and like they hate you, they're going to hunt you down, they're DMing you and saying like you were shit that game, you haven't even played this game before, and it's like, I don't come here for that. Like it's like, yeah, get lost.
There was always one guy who was like blasting Bangarang by Skrillex through the mic for the entire thing.
Yeah. Well, I previously actually dabbled in some MOBAs like League of Legends, Dota, Smite, and every single one I tried, I stopped playing for the exact same reason, where you are not allowed to not be good in them games. Despite the fact there's ranked servers and normal servers, so if you're playing on a normal server, you're going to get mixed in with people whose profile level is level 1. But you're not allowed to be bad. And it's like, why would I want to get good at this game when the people playing it are just horrendous?
Well, we saw it in Chivalry 2 the other week. We were playing in the beginning server, and there was some people in there who were like top rank, and it was like, why are you in here? Just absolute cannon fodder.
It's weird for that game as well, because there's no degree of competitiveness to it. Like the teams are always unbalanced in that game towards the attackers, just because that's what makes it fun. And like, that's kind of why I like it a bit, because no one really gives you shit if you do dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas like I don't like other online games.
You're
where,
allowed
like,
to be
team-based.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest takeaway from all this is there's obviously it's able to capture millions of them, rightly so. And I think it's good for future proofing the platform, because you've got to imagine there's a lot of people out there, kids especially, who they have an Xbox and they play these, like, let's face it, we've all played things without our parents knowing, in the wrong age demographic. We went to a movie, we listened to music, whatever, we swear, that kind of thing. And I think gaming's kind of opened up to such a younger audience now. And I have friends who've got children who are like maybe 9, 10-year-old, and they're playing Call of Duty and they're playing Fortnite with their friends. And I think anything to deter people from like using types of language or suggestive language and stuff towards anyone, I think the fact that it's getting nipped in the bud like so proactively, I think is a great thing, because I think gaming should be from everyone and everything that can be. And I just think, I don't want to sit because like we weren't exposed to it until we were teenagers, like adults. Like we were aware of like arsehole being an arsehole online. That's we've kind of been conditioned to expect that.
Yeah.
Little Timmy out there, pure innocent little Timmy, never heard a swear word in his life, just jumping into a Fortnite lobby and hearing some people drop the N-word, swear words, all that must be like, what in the hell? Like what a torrent of abuse to get as a 12-year-old for not being good at the game because you're 12 and you just wanted to jump in and put your Spider-Man skin on and run around and build a fort.
And also, as a
fair.
parent, how do you say like, oh no, you can't play this game that all your friends play because like there's you're exposed to this? Because like then you just become a pariah as a parent.
Yeah, and then poor little Timmy going to his mum and dad going, "What does bastard mean?" Like, shit, I've got to deal with this now.
Well, that's this podcast getting the explicit tag.
I don't think any kids watch this content.
But I think one of the biggest things you mentioned is being proactive. So reading a few more numbers, between July and December 2021, there was 461,000 proactive enforcements and 2.24 million reactive ones. Fast forward to January to June this year, it's 4.78 million proactive and 2.53 million reactive. So the reactive numbers are roughly the same, but Microsoft have been like 10 times more proactive about this stuff, and I think it's a good step. Yeah,
personally. That's where the AI assistance comes in, right? Because there's no way they could achieve that scale without like
this is not people
manual
looking
methods.
There might be a lot of things. They'll probably have certain tiers of how they get flagged, where some of them go for manual review, or there'll be some things where if you're seeing these words, you're just done.
Which is good.
Strike one.
Yeah. Did you say what? Did you say like what, Chris?
It's strike one.
Oh, strike one. I said like what? I was like, as if you're asking me to say one of the banned words.
No, just like strike one.
Wait, do not say them
out.
words.
Strike two, you're out.
Right.
We should do that thing where like we just like say something completely random and just put like lots of bleeps, even though we're not saying anything. It just sounds that way.
Nobody
I'm
ever
not going
knows.
to do that because I'll forget to edit it in. You've already given me extra editing to do.
Just bleep all that stuff now, Richie.
Banana.
Moving on to Project Keystone now, and unfortunately, it looks like it might be even further off than we thought, because apparently one of the reasons the idea was shelved was not just because like of things like smart TVs and Samsung Gaming Hub like taking precedence. Apparently, they had a target idea of how much it should cost, and they were nowhere near matching it, unfortunately.
That's unfair.
Yeah, like the price point they were hoping to hit was like $99 to $129.
Yeah,
which puts it kind of like dangerously close to like the
it's too close to like, Series S.
Yeah, the Series S, and like considering the fact that most of the functionality is going to be bundled in with basically most TVs sold in the future, like its existence kind of like is shaky at best, and if they can't hit the price point, then fair enough, really. I don't like to see tech cancelled, but
if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense though. It sucks for people who are only interested in cloud gaming and don't want to pay a lot of money for the box and the TV, but well, the reality is you will be paying a lot of money for the box and the TV with this deal, and getting arguably a lesser experience than if you bought a Series S,
Yeah.
or at least a more restricted experience. Well, it makes you wonder
Also-
how Google managed it with the Chromecast.
Well, that's kind of it, isn't it? It's like, what was this console box, streaming box, Keystone actually doing to merit that? Because, yeah, you can pick up a Chromecast with Google TV or a Fire Stick for like sub 50 quid in Black Friday sales.
Mm-hmm.
And that does all your TV shit, and at time of recording still does Stadia, but eventually you'd like to think, like, again, we've said before on CloudQuest, I think it was, just put the Xbox app on Chromecast and you're on to a winner on millions of devices already. So yes, if you can't R&D this to a reasonable price for you, then just put your stuff on other things. Like, we've seen it with the Samsung TVs. Like, they're going to have XPass, God, I want to do that so many times, Xbox Cloud Gaming on them built in. So just, if it's out the door, then yeah, just double down on like shared commitments, partnerships and such.
Yeah, I guess the only argument for it is like some latency from input control, but that's certainly not going to justify a $130 price tag, especially seeing though Microsoft's taken like big losses on the Series S as it is. You don't want another bit of hardware where they have to lose money on.
Yeah. I mean, if they're looking at like $100 to $130, you've got to imagine like 50 of that is the controller alone. Like, presumably that's going to be bundled in, because if you don't have the controller with it, you can't do anything, can you?
To be honest, I was working on the assumption that this was the price for Keystone and not for a controller.
You can't need one, right?
If you're saying $60 of that is controller, then you immediately drop half in the price, and then it is getting in line with Chromecast prices.
Yeah.
But then this is where they might have looked at it and thought, like, for 100, which, like, feasibly, we said Chromecast about 50 quid, or Fire Stick 50 quid, Xbox controller about 50 quid. There's your £100 to 129 right there. So I guess Microsoft are probably approaching it going, can we sell this product without a controller bundled in? And I don't think they can.
No,
Yeah, I agree.
It's a weird product, isn't it?
Yeah, because then you're going to get people who inevitably buy it and go, got it home, can't play anything. Why? Because you're missing the controller. So it's too much of a risk to launch it, I think, without.
But it's
also-
if it's not bundled in, like, so say like the 129 is just for the Keystone.
Yeah.
Add the controller in. That's what, $180, $190. The Series S is like an extra 100, and you get like a console, which
I think as well, there's also something to be said of this device would clearly have a certain level of obsolescence. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, this might be obsolete in 10, 15 years. Realistically, these might be just done in 5, depending, as more TV manufacturers just have things like the Samsung Gaming Hub built into them as people move on to newer generations of TV. Like, when I buy my next TV, chances are I won't need a Chromecast in it.
Yeah.
So my Chromecast Ultra, that's not my Ultra, the Google TV thing, that's in my TV now, will probably end up in a drawer. It will become basically obsolete tech. So they've probably made the decision, if we don't think we can get it easily in that price point, is it worth the development costs to continue trying to get it in?
I think it's a bit sad because it is a cool little
I
like,
really
product
wanted
and
it.
concept, but it is the right decision, I think.
It seems to be, yeah.
We've got our Series S now, Richie, so we can
Yeah.
stop caring about this Keystone thing.
Yeah, well,
Don't need it.
Phil Spencer just needs to stop talking about it then.
Yeah, he seems to have done the rounds a lot this last fortnight with just like anyone and everyone who wants to interview him or podcast with him. He's like, yeah, I'm free. I'll do
Phil,
it.
come on. I haven't invited you, but this is your official invite.
Yeah.
Let Phil know he's invited to talk on XPass. Whatever he wants to talk about.
Episode 4. We definitely merit the head of Xbox, Microsoft coming on. For
I
episode.
think one wonderful thing, and there's an interview with him in The Verge where it says like the first line from the interview is, Phil Spencer, you are the CEO of Microsoft Gaming. It's like, yes.
Yes, I am. Correct.
Phil Spencer,
I
you're
know.
the
It's a very
CEO of
strange
Microsoft
question.
Gaming. Welcome to Decoder. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah. Well, it's just like him telling him he's the CEO of Microsoft Gaming, like he's forgot or something.
Yeah, interview transcripts are always a bit funny, isn't it? Especially if they're like
That-
Japanese converted as well. You get some
That's-
zingers in there.
That's obviously one of them awkward things that the interview is just. I just have to say these words as part of the introduction, so anyone listening to this or reading this knows who Phil Spencer is if they don't already.
And then Phil Spencer gets massively offended and cuts the interview.
You're the CEO of Microsoft Gaming. Yes, I am. We're done.
Yeah,
That's the interview terminated.
I need no introduction.
Yeah. But moving on, we've already mentioned the Samsung Gaming Hub, but it looks like Samsung's 2021 smart TVs are getting Xbox Cloud Gaming and GeForce Now. So hope backwards compatibility going on there.
Yeah. It's a reason why you wouldn't need a Keystone stick or a box. Yeah. Because if 2021 TVs are getting backdated, this year's range of Samsung TVs has got it.
How far back will they go?
Because
I wasn't expecting this at all.
I don't think they'll go back. I think when they launched it, there was only like 2 televisions from the 2020 range that had it. So I think everyone who basically bought one back end of, because again, the 2021 models will have been the hot discount items this year. Mm-hmm. So most people who probably bought a TV throughout 2022 were actually buying the 2021 model. So I think what Samsung did with the gaming hub is kind of pissed off everyone who bought it, like spent hundreds and hundreds of pounds, possibly thousands, on a TV in the last 7-8 months, which is why I think them retroactively going back is a smarter move, because I think word of mouth is better than probably what they would have done just pushing the 2022 models. However, going forward, like we've said it many times, which on Sounds of Stadia podcast, CloudQuest, is that smart TVs, I think that's the next big step for them. They've sold us on 4K for years now. We get it. It's a buzzword. Mm-hmm. Every damn TV you sell is 4K. Then they had all the smart features. Oh, you can get Apple TV and Netflix built in, so you don't need a streaming stick. That was the next generation. These TV companies are like kind of fumbling around the dark now, looking for what the next big buzzwords are. Yeah. And it's clear that gaming content built in is that next big step. And I think Xbox obviously in and out, the Stadia where Luna are, and then there's Nvidia are, and I think once we see maybe PlayStation make that jump over and it starts to become all of the big players have a foot in the pool, that's when probably from like 2023, 2024 onwards, it's just going to be standardized, and any TV you buy from that point onward will have gaming as part of its kind of core strategy. And it'll be good. If anyone's in the market for a TV, like you are, Richie, then it's the best time for you as both a gamer and someone who's looking at maybe a new TV. You're getting more value for your money by just having these inherently installed.
How cool would it be to have like an Xbox button just on your TV remote?
Yeah.
You just press.
That would be awesome.
And it just,
yeah, there's something to be said for as well, actually. You mentioned that it was 4K shoving that down your throat. Resolutions already hit the point of diminishing returns. The next big jump up from 4K, you're probably not actually going to notice that much of a difference, despite the sheer processing power required to make that upgrade. So it no longer makes sense. So that's why things like HDR is becoming more important. Things like higher frame rates, refresh rates, and stuff like that are becoming more important.
Power consumption.
How do we add more features?
That's the biggest one right now.
I think that might be the next generation of TVs. The biggest thing they're pushing for, like more eco-friendly, while also maintaining the same level of performance. Because we've hit a point where I think in TVs where, again, the difference between 4K and 8K, unless you're going to incredibly huge TVs, is just not going to be noticeable.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Do people want bigger TVs than you can already get? Do you need something bigger than like a 70-inch TV in your living room?
Yeah, especially now when this like the average size of a house is shrinking. It doesn't make sense for like the size of the TV to go up, does it?
Yeah, we're always going to hit that saturation point, and it's been like that with mobile phones for quite some time. Where I think at the moment they're just like they're glorified rectangles. Like they're all just a rectangle that does the same shit, albeit slightly better than last year's iteration. But the bells and whistles, like camera fidelity is so good, and battery life. I guess battery life's the one thing that the tech still needs to improve on. But when it comes to TVs, like phones, they're just glorified rectangles. Like they've done the same shit for decades now. But it's just about refining it. But I think you're right, Richie. Like diminishing returns. Like if you're a TV manufacturer, like year on year, people keep their TVs longer. They have like I've got 2 LG 4K TVs that I think I paid about $499 in like a Black Friday sale. I have no interest in replacing them for like years to come now. So if I'm a TV maker, that's bad business for them because I'm not in the market for another half a decade.
It's
However,
weird
if it's
thing.
got gaming built in, that might pique my interest to maybe think, you know what? Instead of getting an Xbox, I might just buy a TV with Xbox built in.
It's
Save
this weird
myself some
thing
money.
where all tech has kind of become annualized in terms of the releases.
Apple.
So Samsung needs to bring out a new TV every single year. That is what's expected of them, which means the marketing execs at Samsung need to figure out a way of selling a new TV every year.
Mm-hmm.
Which means you have to come up with buzzwords, like you need to find that thing that will get it. Gaming seems to be the one they've latched onto, which probably for good reasons, because it's the biggest entertainment industry in the world right now.
Remember 3D TVs?
Yeah.
Then we got curved TVs. It's just a thing, is it? But then that's the optics of like being. You have to be current. If you're not current, like 2-year phone contracts are now trade your phone in anytime, and it's like it has to be. Like if you don't have the latest shit, you ain't cool.
Yeah, I don't care about that anymore.
Well, again, our age demographic doesn't, but the up and coming audiences who are now starting to get like full time jobs and have cash to burn, like not that much because of inflation and depression and stuff. Depression, not depression. What's the word I'm thinking of?
They probably are depressed.
The
so
great,
just like,
the Great Depression, recession.
Recession.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Recession, depression. It's a whole part of the same shit show. That is the world right now. But yeah, in terms of it, you need to be constantly like promoting and talking. And like I feel like every time a new product's launched, before you even really thought about it, there's like next year's iteration is being talked about and promoted. It's just never ending cycle, and that's just marketing 101 though.
We're not that far off from like the Pixel. Is the Pixel 7 out now?
7 is, the 7
Yeah, 7
Pro isn't.
I'm still using my Pixel 4 XL, and it's absolutely fine. And I look at that rectangle and go, I don't know why I'd need to upgrade this. And it's one of them. The camera is so good in this phone that if I needed better, I should probably be looking at professional camera equipment. Realistically, like that's how good. No, anyway, that's a side point.
Anyway,
yeah. I was just reading. We're now talking about phones and Xbox podcast. Let's just move on.
remember Microsoft phones, Windows phones, everything as well.
Yeah, but you know
No,
what?
we'll never get the Microsoft sponsorship if we start talking about that.
You know what? Windows phones, I know you're trying to get away from it, Richie, but they had an Xbox app built in mobile phone games on them phones, got you like Microsoft points and achievement points. And because it was all part of like the Windows Live tile system, it worked and was built in really, really well. It's just a shame that no one supported it. And it failed, but
I mean, talk about Windows Live. Did you know that Xbox Live is now 20 years old?
Oh.
It's a small story, but I think it's worth honouring these sort of milestones.
Yeah.
My first experience in online gaming was with the original Xbox, and I played Project Gotham Racing 2.
Oh, nothing to do with Batman, which confused the hell out of me back in the day.
I think that's why my mum bought it, because she knew a bit about Batman and stuff like that. But
There's no
New Gotham.
Batmobile in this game. What the hell, man?
yeah, but that was my first experience with online gaming, and I'm so sad that I lost my original Xbox account, because I'd have got like a special 20 or even like a 19-year-old badge for it. But alas.
Were you posting sexual content on message boards and got proactively banned?
No, I was just waiting for like the little kids to abuse.
Dude, this just
Yeah, I mean,
don't follow up sexual content with little kids, Rob.
Yeah, they were definitely going to get demonetized in some way.
Yeah,
But I think Xbox Live, shout out to a service that essentially embraced the internet, and it got rid of essentially LAN parties, and it disconnected you from the physical being connected like locally, and just introduced like, holy shit, I can just play with all of my friends from home online just like this. And obviously it launched in the perfect time with Halo 2. And then that not only exploded the world of Halo and the multiplayer online, but it just what a thing, man. Revolutionized.
I think it's not only was this a pivotal moment in Xbox, it was a pivotal moment in gaming in general. I mean, online gaming was always there in the PC sense, but the popularity of consoles just never had it. This is the reason why you can't get couch co-op games anymore. Xbox Live,
killed it.
Yeah. I have no idea how my copper wire internet connection handled the Xbox Live, but it did apparently.
Lag. Lots of lag.
Ping, signing in. Just remember entering a lobby and you generally had to wait forever for just like it to find
God,
other people and get connected, and then you'd load in. It was like matchmaking everyone up together, and yeah, what a time! What a time!
I mean, moving on to the next story, not everything Microsoft does works out well. They accidentally lowered the price of Forza Horizon from $200 to less than $1. This sale's it's already been fixed, but I just found it hilarious.
Black Friday deal right there.
Yeah. I mean, someone's been fired over that. Definitely.
Yeah, apparently it came to you could get Forza Horizon 4 and 5 for 61 pence. That's a deal.
I don't know, like, what mistype or typo must have occurred for, like, this to happen. Because it's not like it was supposed to be, like, I don't know, 40%. And, like, I don't know, like, how it happened and how many people it had to go through before it got published live.
Yeah.
And it still just happened.
The nearest thing I can think is it was supposed to be discounted down to $99, and it's gone down as 99% instead.
Maybe, yeah.
That
it's been like,
seems like something that could have happened. Yeah.
Like I didn't
Someone
realize it was
just
percentage.
Completely messed up the brief on it. It's like,
I can really imagine like the horror that someone had, because they'll have looked in like their dashboard and they'll have said like, oh, amazing, like 500,000 sales. What's the revenue? What?
Tenner.
$500. What? It's like, and there'll have been like a sheer dread come over somebody on that one.
Yeah, especially because these premium editions are designed to take the hardcore and make money, because like realistically you get Forza with Game Pass. So millions of people who play Forza, they ain't paying a penny for this outside of the subscription. So these bundles are designed for like your hardcore people. And when, like you said, most of your sales are coming through at, what was it, 69p or something?
69 pence.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. But at the same time, yeah, you must look at that and go, oh shit, that was our chance to rake some money in a sale, and we've undercut ourselves by a lot.
Yeah, it's
There's
probably
a
one of
big
them.
player boost though.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's probably one, as you mentioned, Rob, there'll be someone sat there, look at the sales. It's probably one of them moments, go, oh my God, that's selling really well. It's like, hang on a sec, that's selling way too well.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, this is selling suspiciously well. What went wrong?
Yeah. You're making me paranoid about the Black Friday stuff I'm managing now, because I'm thinking, God, I hope there's not a typo anywhere.
Just double check. Get someone else to double check as well. Because sometimes you'll double check yourself and you just will not see an obvious mistake till someone points it out to you.
Oh, yeah.
I think that happens there as well. But moving on now, so to Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, we've got the tech specs. And looking pretty good, to be honest. Xbox Series S, you get 1080p, 60 frames per second. Can't complain about that. Up to 4K 60 on the Xbox Series X. PlayStation 4 Pro, 4K 30. PlayStation 5, 4K 60.
By looks like you do need to download the day one patch to get the 60 on the S by looks of it.
Yeah, but who's realistically not downloading the day one patch?
First time coming to console as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone's never, a lot of people probably haven't played this because it was on PSP. So is this exciting you?
Yes,
because it's well revered.
Yeah, it is. Like, again, I've played with Final Fantasy VII. I've played a lot of it over the years, the original, but I never actually ever rolled credits. So the remakes were kind of like, they've come at a good time for me to go to re-experience this and like the full story.
Mm-hmm.
So
as someone who's not Final Fantasy versed, as I've mentioned a few times on the shows, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, is this part of the same Final Fantasy VII story? Like, I know they're usually their own entities, but then this sounds like it would be a spin-off of the 7 game.
This is a PSP. The original one was a PSP spin-off of Final Fantasy VII. So when they've been doing the remakes, they've decided to remake the spin-off, and which is the Reunion version is the remake version.
Right, that sounds good. So then, for you who loved the remake version so much, the fact that the early reviewers said he got hands-on time with the game, was impressed at how the developers made the game consistent with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Does that get you excited that it's got the same like level of... You're essentially getting an additional game, part of one of your favourite games of all time, and it looks and feels consistent, which I think is the big thing here. That
Yeah.
they've took a PSP portable game and matched it with last year's PS4 release.
I'd take the word consistent because there is some changes to the story in Final Fantasy, the remake of Final Fantasy VII. There's things in that game that should have happened. There's one specific pivotal moment that should have happened, which has not yet happened.
Right.
So when I read the word consistent, I think what they've done is they've adapted the story of Crisis Core to be in line with the remake narrative.
To not give away spoilers, potentially.
Oh, it's a spoiler everyone knows. Like, it's one of the most memed spoilers of all time.
I don't know. Don't tell me it.
If I told you it, you'd know what it is. Like,
all right. Is it took an arrow to the knee?
No. Not
Oh,
far.
that's the wrong franchise you haven't played.
I know. Is it all our base are belong to us?
Yes.
Not that one. It is that one.
Yeah.
I read consistent as in like just graphically, like they've took an old ass game on a portable thing and made it match a PS4 remake game. Like, which
that's got to be
right.
expected, to be honest. Like, if you're remaking a PSP game and putting it on PS5, you're not going to make it look like a PSP game.
Yeah, I think it's a bit fair that it's got the remaster tag because it seems much more like a remake. I see a lot of it being reported as a remaster, and I think they're having a fight against the...
I'd say that's an incorrect statement because I always say that the difference between a remaster and a remake is a remaster, you're taking the game that was already made and polishing it up a bit.
Yeah.
You're remastering it, where a remake is you're taking the core concept of the game and building it again with modern, remaking all the assets and such.
Yeah, which I guess is why the exec producers kind of coming out and trying to push that, right?
Yeah. Because if you hear a remaster of a PSP game, I'm expecting a PSP game playing in at least 1080p, maybe in 4K resolution, maybe with like patched up audio, but ultimately it's going to effectively look and feel the same.
Yeah.
Where remake is you're making the game again.
Yeah, fair point.
Moving on now to Battlefield. Season 3 sets up the most radical improvements yet. So, good news, Battlefield is about to launch the Game Pass on November the 22nd. I was going to drop it on November there. It's like, we're mid-November now. It's like...
It's 4 days away.
Yeah. It's 4 days away from where we are now. It's like tomorrow.
Yeah. So this is what's got me excited for Battlefield is that it launched in a shit state. We know that. I was never going to pay 70 quid for it. The fact that Season 3, which is apparently the game starting to get back on track, it's getting more positive praise and reviews and players are enjoying it. The fact that it's going free on Game Pass, so it's going to see a massive like boom in its player base, and the game is supposedly fixed at this point. I think it sounds like for people who've been patient or disinterested out there, it seems like a perfect time to jump in and play it, right?
Yeah. It'd be
I feel like it could be the thing that revives the franchise, really, with it being on Game Pass. I think that could be the thing that kind of gives it the shot in the arm which it needs. Because if it gets a decent player base back from people who aren't having, as you say, drop kind of 70 quid on it, there's much more argument to like create more content moving forward for it as well. And so this is a nice thing about kind of games coming to Game Pass, where like things that have kind of died off can get that new injection of player base. The same thing happened with Chivalry 2.
Yeah, it's just like that second life of when you open it up to millions of players for essentially free, you are going to get that influx of people who've thought either they've never seen it before or they've just not been interested before, who suddenly go, oh, it's AAA, it's EA, it's like I've heard of Battlefield, I've maybe had my fill of Call of Duty, or I'm just not interested in Call of Duty, I just don't have 70 quid to buy Call of Duty right now. Let's jump in and check it out. And like you said, Season 1 seemed to put them in the right direction. Season 2 seemed to appease the fans quite a lot in terms of content. Season 3 is promising the biggest changes yet and the biggest update yet. In line with millions of players getting hands on with it for free, it seems like a win-win for all parties. And I've said before in the past, I've loved playing Battlefield games, and Battlefield 1 in particular was, I think, the highlight. And I think they've got a lot of shit the last few weeks of saying if on Steam there was more people playing Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 than they were playing Battlefield 2042, which is like, that's bad, that. So the fact that this is obviously going to have an influx of millions of people, hopefully it'll get it back on track. Because again, in all this Call of Duty Activision back and forth, Battlefield realistically has been the only real competitor, and it's not really won any of those fights yet. I think Battlefield 1 was the last year when people actually said Battlefield wins against Call of Duty this year. Not in sales, but in terms of like critic reception and such.
Will it though? Because Call of Duty released Warzone 2.0. So
Well, that's the thing.
And that's just seems like, from what I've read, just more Call of Duty Warzone. So if you're into Call of Duty Warzone, more power to you.
2042, not far away as well. Like, it's such an odd year. Like, there's a lot of games. Like, we saw Cyberpunk, we saw Battlefield.
Years.
Yeah, but that's not that far away. Like,
It's
blink
not
and it'll be
really.
here, and we'll be on to XPass episode, and I'll do the maths, 260.
I'm not doing the maths right now. It's 11:15 at night. I don't want to do maths.
Damn.
It's 20 years. There's the maths.
But in a nutshell, I'm looking forward to playing this game with you guys.
Yeah.
So
And
do you want
and the
us to play it in the week when you're not here? Or do you want us to save it? Or we could do 2 streams of it.
I mean, we could do 2 streams, but let's face it. You want to catch it in the week it's popular, when everyone else is playing it, and plus Rob needs to shake off his chivalry rust with shooters and get competitive for when I come back.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like running and trying to melee people all the time.
Throwing
Why is
chickens
my
at
kill
them.
death ratio so terrible?
Why is that guy on a horse?
Moving on, we've got a host of news from the Embracer Group, but we're not going to go into it in detail here. Volition's now under Gearbox, Risk of Rain's being purchased, Crystal Dynamics are interested in making a legacy game, but we'll be talking about that tomorrow on Talking the PS. But what's next? Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought.
Rob, can you give me that best impression?
Yeah.
Sounds like a sin.
Now I've been bullied, and they're both going to get the cancer.
Well, until Xbox step in and stop giving you abuse, Richie, then it's going to happen.
Yeah. But did you know that eFootball's still a thing? It's actually getting a season 2 around the World Cup. This is the football game from Konami. That is the successor to Pro Evo.
I've never ever heard of this game.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's essentially, Rob, to give you the lay of the land, is obviously you remember Pro Evo. Everyone who when we were kids was like either played Pro Evo or you played FIFA. Konami thought it was a great idea to ditch the brand Pro Evolution Soccer and rebrand it to eFootball and launch it as a free-to-play model. So, which I don't disagree with the free-to-play model. So instead of a yearly iteration of the game, it's a platform as the football game, and every year they just put out a season pass with new kits and new rosters. So it seems like good for the consumer rather than paying £70 for every year's FIFA iteration. The problem is the game launched in a shit state and it's ruined any kind of momentum they would have had. And evidently, season 2 is here after the season started. We're on the winter break now.
You can't launch badly when you're going against FIFA, can you? Like, that's just not an option.
Even free to play, I don't think you can launch anything. And today as well, like if you don't hit the ground running or a broken mess, like I think gamers are just so much more attuned to like rankings, reviews, performance, that more than any other industry. I just think if you just fall, like we've just discussed it with Battlefield, like you just risk falling out. And FIFA's just so consistently like good enough year in year out. I haven't bought a Pro Evo game since PS2, so that says a lot. And I'm a big football fan.
Yeah, will you be checking out eFootball?
No.
No. Not FIFA.
No, the reason I bring it up is one of the things eFootball has suffered from is the polish that you'd expect from a Pro Evo was clearly gone. So the production quality of the game is just not where you'd expect. So it's not, and also they're bringing out a World Cup mode, the eFootball International Cup Challenge event.
Wow,
because they don't have the rights to just call it the World Cup.
But you can get 1 billion. There's a prize pool of 1 billion eFootball coins.
Wow.
I mean, actually, Richie, this show goes live, I believe, on the day the World Cup actually starts. So
Day after.
Oh, the day after, is it? Okay.
The World Cup starts on Sunday. This goes live Monday.
Oh, is it Sunday? All right, okay.
Yeah, Qatar plays Sunday.
Can you give me your prediction for the world-beating best game of all time, Qatar versus Ecuador?
Ecuador.
What's your prediction?
2-1.
I'm going 3-0 Ecuador. Rob, no interest in football. What do you reckon?
I'll go Qatar just for the balance.
Wow. Horse Nation. Rob's back in the Horse Nation.
I'm backing the money. That's what I'm backing.
Apparently been together. Their team's been together for about 3 weeks or something now. Where most, like say, the England team's been together for days at this point. So
it's still shit though, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, home advantage though. It matters.
Is it home advantage? The stadiums they haven't even played in the stadiums yet because they haven't been finished. I don't know. Either way, we can digress into the shit show that is the World Cup. I have just such little interest in it this year. I'd rather play Minecraft football, Richie.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring on next. I was going to segue with something along the lines of what do you think would be a better football game? eFootball or Minecraft?
Minecraft football sounds awful.
Minecraft football, yeah.
100%. Yeah. Become a pro player in this new Marketplace DLC. So it's DLC for Minecraft where you can play football.
It feels like this is the only football game I'd actually play.
I'll play this. Have you not played Rocket League?
That's not football though. You're in a car.
It's football.
Right. When you guys play football on a Monday or something, right? If I rocked up in a car and started just doing donuts in the field, right, you'd have something to say about it.
You might have a better chance at winning.
Yeah.
He's killed the goalkeeper.
I would be on Rob's team.
I mean, yeah, Rocket League's fantastic. Have you seen Call of Duty's getting what was it called? I think it's just going to be called COD League or something like that, and it's basically the vehicles in it, but Rocket League style. That's a thing.
I mean, I don't like this convergence of genres into one big genre.
I like the look of the Enderman kit though in this Minecraft game.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
That's cool.
I mean, it's largely just black.
Purple highlights, but it looks like the Enderman.
The problem is the eyes look like nipples.
That's what I thought, yeah. It looks like he's got little slits in his t-shirt.
I tell you what, though, Minecraft, not Minecraft football per se, but Minecraft, what a fucking game. Like, I had such a good time playing Minecraft back in the day. I don't have time to dedicate to hacking away at like 1,000 blocks on a night. I've got better things to do in my time. But if I was like 10-year-old and I was introduced to Minecraft, you'd never see me again.
Oh, yeah.
I'd just
and it sparks such like a trend of games where like using that kind of block building design as well. Like I play 7 Days to Die quite a lot, and that's based on the same kind of skeleton, if you like, of Minecraft. Yeah.
What we need to do is do a stream of Minecraft where we just build like a massive fortress, just us and our audience.
Absolutely.
If you remember, like Grounded, how much fun we had just building. Yeah. We stopped playing like the story and we just started building stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I paid any attention to the story, but I'm totally down for that. Like Minecraft's so good.
I'm a complete novice with Minecraft.
There's not much to learn. Just avoid the zombies and the skeletons. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
And don't dig down. That's the one rule of Minecraft. Do not dig vertically down.
Just going straight down. I was going to say, don't dig down, but you've got to dig somewhere.
Just dig up,
Craft.
Stupid.
One, because you might get stuck. Two, you're probably going to hit a lava pocket and there's no way out.
Moving on. One of the last stories for the week. Relic are looking to bring more real-time strategy games to the Game Pass, and one of the things that has been mentioned is Company of Heroes 3. Either of you got any experience with Company of Heroes?
I have, yeah, because I'm a big RTS kind of fan.
I thought you were going to say yes, actually. You've probably mentioned it before.
Well, yeah, it's like I'm like all for this. Like RTS games of the ones I first started playing on PC, God knows how many years ago now, and they've been like a bit of a slump. Like there's a reason I still go back to like the original Red Alerts and Command and Conquers and Age of Empires is because that was such like a golden age of that game genre, and I don't think it's been replicated. And one of the nice things about Game Pass is that it can bring those types of titles back to the forefront for kind of a new generation of players. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Like
what I should mention as well is they're looking to bring games to the console version of Game Pass as well, not just the PC version.
Yeah. That's superb. I'm all for this.
So what is Company of Heroes then, Rob? It's RTS. Am I just picturing Age of Empires but in like wartime? Like World War, like guns and tanks kind of play out?
More or less, yeah. It's kind of like...
More Command and Conquer then?
If you imagine the Command and Conquer kind of dynamic with like a military skin is what it is basically. But yeah,
I'm always down for more RTS. Like the fact that we're getting like Age of Empires in like the cloud via XPass, fuck's sakes, Xbox
Every time.
Game Pass every time. That's what I get for coming up with the name. But either way, it was Richie's idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. RTS, give me 2. Just give me the 360 port of Battle for Middle Earth 2. It's what I want. If I can play Battle for Middle Earth 2 through the cloud, do it EA and the Tolkien estate who hates everyone.
There's rumours of Warhammer 40k Dawn of War, which I remember playing, and I remember that being an awesome game.
Well.
Yeah.
See, there's so many titles like this that just don't get the exposure that they need.
It's one of them things where, although I think real-time strategy games are always going to be better on PC, but by putting them on consoles, you do hit a bigger audience.
Mm-hmm. And again, that's not to say there's not scope for the same to happen on for mouse and keyboard games eventually with Game Pass. So
we've never got a RTS Marvel game yet. Weirdly enough, Star Wars Empire at War, phenomenal game. I feel like you just make the enemies like the Chitauri and Thanos is like the big in the campaign, I guess, and then just have that type of thing. Like you make like an Avengers campus. You give your barracks for recruiting your
your shield agents.
Your shield agents, yeah. And then
I
you've got your heroes.
You got Shield. You could have Hydra, the Chitauri.
Yeah, Age of Mythology as well, where you have your heroes.
Yeah, and then that would you summon them in, you call them, you have I guess a map of the different planets. You could go all out space, you could go different dimensions if you on the Doctor Strange campaign and stuff like that. And yeah, it's crazy how of all the massive IP, they've kind of all had some kind of RTS thing, but Marvel just no.
I guess what it was Marvel didn't hit it big until RTS as a genre kind of died out in a way.
But now they're being more experimental with the IP. Look at Midnight Suns is coming out soon. I think that's a completely departure from what you'd expect a traditional Marvel game to be.
That's true. But remember Populous, Rob?
Oh, I love Populous.
Populous is so good.
I can't find a good kind of PC emulation for it. But I've been searching for it for a long time.
The shamans.
Was it
stupid
console?
bishops which conveyed everybody.
Wow. Yeah.
Was it console only Populous?
I had it on PlayStation 1, so...
Yeah, that's where I originally played it. I assume it's a console game at some point, but I can't find a good...
Check Good Old Games. That's probably usually a good site for stuff like that.
Populous the Beginning. It was on PC. 1998. Bullfrog Productions. Published by EA.
I think most of Bullfrog was by EA, wasn't
Bullfrog were really good at one point. Dungeon Keeper. That was Bullfrog.
Theme Park.
Theme Hospital, yeah. But you know what RTS I would love to see? I mean, it may never happen, but Warcraft 4. I want a Warcraft 4 because Warcraft 3 was such an amazing game.
Yeah.
And then World of Warcraft, it's a very different game to Warcraft 3. Yeah. But then they've just left this awesome game just to sit there.
I loved Warcraft 3, and that's what confused me so much about World of Warcraft, is it was now I need to convince my parents to subscribe to a monthly plan, and it's nothing like the game I actually loved that came before it, and it just never got into it.
You're getting loads of online abuse for some reason as well.
Yeah, exactly. I got loads of abuse for playing the wrong character type. But, RTS, I've got such a good soft spot for them. And I think the more console/cloud equivalents we get, I'd love to see a resurgence, and that's why I'm looking forward to jumping into Dune Spice Wars just to see how it translates.
Mm-hmm.
To round up the show, we've got a couple of games coming out this week on Xbox. We've got Evil West is coming out November the 22nd.
Wait, can we just stop for a moment and talk about Evil West as well?
Yeah, by all means.
Have you seen how good this game looks? I don't think it's getting anywhere near the coverage it actually deserves, and it's a huge shame. If you just search for Evil West trailer now, it's essentially Doom meets...
It'll be up right now.
It'll be up right now for everyone viewing and watching at home. It's essentially Doom meets the Wild West, but with undead. So it's Red Dead Redemption meets Doom essentially, and the character storyline. He looks a little bit like Van Helsing He's like cool as
Yeah,
shit.
I'm liking the art style.
And yeah, it looks gorgeous, but it's not going on Game Pass. It's like a fully purchasable game, and I think it's coming out at this weird time where I don't feel like it's getting any love, and I just think, like, from the trailers and the clips I've seen of it, it seems right up my street. So I'm thinking, if I can get Ragnarok off, this might be like my sleeper, like, quickly get it in before Christmas purchase. But I just think it deserves more love from what I've seen of it. It looks cool.
You know what it kind of reminds me of in some weird way? Like The Order.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely.
Yeah.
I love the tagline for it. It's like, evil never sleeps, but it bleeds. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
It seems like a game that knows exactly what it's about. It sounds like it's probably not going to take itself too seriously.
Yeah, definitely.
But something like that can be just great fun.
Some of the weapon upgrades look cool as well. It's like it's a video game video game. It knows exactly what it's doing. Like, it's going to be zany fun, crazy villains, wacky loadout. Like, I think the guy has like electric fists at one point to fight them, and it's just like, but in a Wild West scenario, it just adds that different element to it, which could be cool.
Yeah, this looks cool.
Yeah. Moving on, we've got Saint Kotar comes out November the 22nd. By all means, just stop and talk about any of these games as we go.
I've never heard of that one.
Dead Station, November the 23rd. Finding the Soul Orb, November the 23rd. Gungrave Gore, November the 23rd.
Rich, that's actually Gungrave, Gore. If you...
My apologies.
Yeah.
Gungrave,
There's dots in between
Gore,
them.
comes out November the 23rd.
What does it stand for?
Gore.
No, there must be like a... Don't spell it phonetically for me. But like what... Like, is there something?
I don't know.
Like, what would you think it stands for? Guns or raves experience?
Let us know in the comments if you know.
Is it gun grave or is it gun rave? Because that artwork makes it look like it's just a gun rave. Everyone's
it's gun
off.
grave, but gun rave would be fun.
Gun rave.
We have Jelly Brawl, November the 23rd. We have Super. That's actually Xbox. That's Xbox One as well. Super Rebellion. I thought for a minute there when I saw Jelly Brawl, I thought I was like, is that Xbox Series X only? It's like, but no, it's Xbox One X enhanced. Super Rebellion, November the 23rd. Primal Light, November the 24th. Legendary Heroes, November the 24th. There's a lot of just games here.
Animal Shelter. You stopped right before Animal Shelter Simulator.
Yeah.
You swine. Why did you stop?
I'm scrolling as I read.
Like
right, Rob, talk to us about Animal Shelter.
Look at that dog. Like, of all the dog pictures they could have picked for this artwork.
Is this by Carson Kelly?
Yeah.
No,
it's
not.
It's broken down into a couple of options. So save our four-legged friends, clean them, protect them, take them for a walk, be careful, and convince them.
Is be careful an actual gameplay mechanic?
Wow.
Animals need a level head just as much as they need a loving heart. Remember that each resident of your shelter has a nature of its own. You don't want them, or yourself, getting hurt. So there's a bit of violence in this.
Wow.
And it's teen as well, so it's not like it's not universal.
Okay.
There you go.
Moving on. Run Sausage Run comes out November the 25th.
What the hell? This is some shovelware
I
shit
knew that
right
was going
here.
to go. Yeah.
Run Sausage Run.
And to finish off the list and the show, Robo Lifter comes out November the 25th.
In the description for Robo Lifter, it starts off in its blurb by saying a sci-fi Soki Banish puzzle game. What the hell is a Soki Banish puzzle game?
I have no idea.
Because I know sometimes in these like descriptions they like to use buzzwords. Using words I've never heard of before doesn't do it any benefit. Even Googling the word, it just comes back for showing results in Spanish.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
And it's not helping me to what the actual word means.
When I've just Googled it and it goes, do you mean Spanish? Showing them results for the word Spanish. I went, no, show me actually like Soki Banish. And it's only showing me things to do with Robo Lifter.
Yeah, this word only exists when next to Robo Lifter.
A sci-fi Soki Banish puzzle game where you, level by level, repair a spaceship. As the last working lifter bot and the last hope of your companion, repair AI, help her to fix the damage and investigate what caused the critical shutdown. Robo Lifter, available November 25th. No thanks.
I just saw an article that had Soki Banish in it, in French or maybe it's like a French word. No, it's an article for this bloody game.
It seems like a Japanese word. Soki Banish. Like, weird.
Yeah.
Either way, Run Sausage Run for me, top pick for this week.
But that's all we have time for this week. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel or your podcast feed of choice with notifications switched on. If you want to join the conversation even further, we have a Discord server. The link is in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. My name's been Richie.
I've been Chris.
And I've been Rob.
We'll see you in the clouds.